So this cat here, what is his name? I believe his name is Justin Jones, right? He is a Tennessee lawmaker. He's in the House of Representatives in Tennessee. This brother, this is the second time in 3 years he's been arrested in that same House of Representatives in Tennessee. Once for, I guess, protest of Trump or some garbage. It's something that's vain, which is my point tonight, right? All of this voting, all of these politics is all vanity, right? This cat here, he's arguing gerrymandering, something that has been used since the Civil War. Do you know what gerrymandering is, Yeshaya, the young man?
No, I don't want.
Well, let's look it up. Do you have a dictionary? Do you have a Bible dictionary, a Bible, a 16?
I have the Zondervan.
Yeah, get the Zondervan. Okay, that's good. Get a Zondervan. Get you a 1611 King James Bible if you don't have it.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, let's get that. Get you a notebook. These are things. This is to all the young men that's coming to class, not just you. Every young man, you should, when you come into school, brother, this is a school. Remember that. This is where you learn. You get a Bible, a 1611 King James Version Bible. You want a Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, right? You would, what else? The Apocrypha, right? A notebook and a pen and a backpack, all black backpack. That's UPK since 1969. Now everybody has these. Everybody has a phone. So everybody likes taking notes on the phone until that phone breaks. The Bible says, do all things in writing. You understand? It's important to take notes. It's important to learn. This is a school like you were going to Harvard or Oxford or Yale or Cambridge, right? Let's look up what gerrymandering is. Let's look it up. You can use your phone if you want. You can use your computer if you want. But let's look up what gerrymandering is, all right? Let's look that up real quick. And while the brother is looking up what gerrymandering is, I have another video to show you of this same exact brother. It's two of them down there. It's two of them in Tennessee. Tennessee black lawmakers. They just keep getting arrested at their job. Remember, that's his job. He's a politician. He's a politician, so he's supposed to protest. He's supposed to exercise his First Amendment right. This is his job. That's what he's supposed to do. But him and his black colleague down there keep getting arrested at their job. With all this voting, young man, all this voting we have going on, all of the progress that black people made in the 60s, that Dr. King and the civil rights movement made in the 60s, all of this progress. Let's see what just happened in the Supreme Court. Let's first read gerrymandering. Let's see what he's protesting. Let's see what he's so upset about. Do you have what gerrymandering is?
Yes, I want.
Please read that.
Gerrymandering in U.S. politics, the practice of drawing the boundaries of electoral districts in a way that gives one political party an advantage over its rivals.
Based on what? Does it say based on what?
Or that dilutes the voting power of members of racial or ethnic minority groups.
This is all racial, which is what gerrymandering is. It's redistricting for a advantage over your opponent. This happened in 1864, I believe it is. This happened during the Civil War when Abraham Lincoln, when Abraham Lincoln was elected president, I believe before the Civil War or after the Civil War, one of the two. This happened in the 1860s. Gerrymandering is old, as old as slavery. Why? For political gain of a political party, right? The Republicans are all MAGA. They're all Donald Trump loving cult members. That's what MAGA, that's what the Republicans are. They're a political party who hate black people. The Democrats are a political party who hate blacks and Latinos as well, but they're not as bold and as upfront with their hatred towards us as the Republican Party. That's the difference. But if you ever wanted to know what the difference between the Democrats and Republicans are, Democrats hate blacks and Hispanics just like the Republicans hate blacks and Hispanics, just like independents hate blacks and Hispanics. They just go about their hatred a different way. One of them is a lot more brash and open. The other is a lot more deceptive. You understand? That's the difference between the political parties in America or the political parties throughout the globe, any Western society, France, Italy, or Europe, or UK, right? Any political party you give me, where white people are in charge, their entire mission and goal is to oppress a group of people. That's how you stay in power. That's how they stay in power, by oppressing a group of people. In our case, it's oppressing a racial group of people, which are Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, our people. That's what our political party does in America. They oppress us. They just go about it a different way. And you will see Democrats and Republicans argue. The argument, of course, is Democrats want to oppress Black people with LGBTQ and drugs. The Republican Party wants to oppress Black people the old-fashioned way, with a whip and a chain. You understand? Shalom can come. Yahba Shimon Shakatah. What's going on, my man?
Shalom. Shakatah. What's going on?
Give the brother a hand. Kakumkabar, this is a young man here in Kansas. He's on the Kansas side. Young man Yeshaya. The brother found the truth. All right.
Most high Christ.
Damn right. So listen, Republicans and Democrats go about hating Black people and oppressing Black people a different way. All right. That's the whole difference. All right. Neither one is for us. Just like if you were in Europe, the parliament isn't for you either. It's not for the Benjamites in Europe or in the UK. If you're in France, that parliament is not for us. Right. This brother, Justin Jones in Tennessee, and his colleague, they both have been arrested twice in 3 years over protesting something Donald Trump has done or something the Republicans have done. This time, they're protesting gerrymandering. The brother just read what gerrymandering is. Gerrymandering is redistricting of a district where you live, like Kansas City or Jackson County, or in Louisiana, which is where this stems from. Last week, the Supreme Court struck down gerrymandering for the Democratic Party because the Supreme Court justices work for Donald Trump. And that's what you have to remember about the Supreme Court justices. Republicans and MAGA are lining the pockets of the Supreme Court justices, like that sellout Clarence Thomas, who's a Republican, and whoever is in office, whoever yields and wields the most power, that's the side that the Supreme Court is going to go for. That's the side they're going to vote for. So this time around, because Donald Trump is in office, they're going for the Republican Party. And they're striking down anything Democrats want to do. Why did they strike down the gerrymandering, redistricting of local elections in states? Because what the Virginia governor did last month. The Virginia governor, who is a Democrat, she redistricted the state of Virginia to benefit. Shalom, mighty man. Yahba Shem Shakatah. Another young man. What's going on, mighty man?
Yahba Shem Yahshai Brakatah. Doing too well. How y'all doing?
Most High Christ, brother. Most High Christ. So this Virginia governor, just a month ago or 3 weeks ago, she redistricted Virginia so that it benefits the Democratic Party. What does this mean? Let me show you what it looks like. Let me show you what it looks like. All right. I ain't gonna be able to add it. Let me see. I'll have to stop that. Okay, here we go. This is what the gerrymandering map looks like. Can we see all of that on the screen at once? Yes, here we go. Okay, the red is Republican, the blue is Democrat. You see that sea of red? Because it's the midterm elections, right? Because it's the midterms. Because it's the midterm election this year, right now, people are voting. The Democrats want their political party to be in power. The Republicans want their political party to be in power. The demographic that closely associates themselves with the Democratic Party are minorities, LGBTQ, Blacks, Latinos. That's what you have to know. This is political science 101. And because our people, associate ourselves throughout history with the Democratic Party, the Democrats want to redistrict urban areas in a city, which means urban is a colloquial word for Black. Okay, they want to make Black areas blue. The Democrats want to make everything red. The Republicans want to make everything red. Why do the Republicans want to make everything red? Because they don't want you niggas and spics to vote. They want to card. Do you know right now they're going back and forth on
niggas to fix the vote.
Salakia, y'all put y'all's phones on mute. Right? Right now, they're going back and forth with, should you card Black and Latino people? Should you be carded to vote? Meaning, show your ID as if it was 1865, as if it was 1955. That was the whole push behind Dr. King marching and the civil rights movement. They marched for your right to vote. That was the entire purpose and the premise of the civil rights movement. It wasn't so that you could go and eat in white restaurants. It wasn't so that you can go see white movies. It was so Black people could vote without having to show their ID. It was so that Black people could vote for their elected official without having to take a test. Y'all look up a test that Black people had to. My grandparents would have took that test. Your grandparents, they had to take a test before they voted. Do you know what that test asked? How much sand is on the beach? How much sand is in this jar? They would have to go to their local elected office, and they would have to, Black people and Latinos would have to take a test that was absurd. It would ask you questions like, how many stars are in the sky? How much sand is in this jar? That's the test they had to take. It was impassable. Why? Because it was an absurd test so that no one could pass it, so that Black people couldn't vote. What did Dr. King do? He had your grandparents and my grandparents march, and little kids get dog sicked on them, water hoses turned on them, just so they could pass the Voting Rights Act of 1964. 9 years, after Dr. King's 1955 bus desegregation. 9 years. And now they had the right to vote without the stipulation of having to take a standardized, absurd test to vote, without racial guidelines. What happened in the 60s? Gerrymandering. That's what happened. Cities and states began to change their districts, which is why Atlanta is all Black. It's why Wyoming is all white. It's the reason why if you were to be a nigga that tried to vote in Wyoming, you would not. Why? Because of demographics, because of where you vote. Black people lined the South because we were slaves. The Issacharites lined the West because that's where they're from. Does it make sense now? So this gerrymandering is nothing new. It's old. It's old as Civil War. But it's coming up again because this is the midterms. And Donald Trump wants to be reelected as president for a third term. So what does he have to do? His political party, MAGA, the Republicans, they have to use gerrymandering to get more white people to vote. That's what it's all about. So Donald Trump can be your president forever. So he can be the king of America until Christ returns. That's what this is all about. Now, this week, 2 Black lawmakers in Tennessee got their Black ass thrown out of their job. They were doing their job. They're elected officials in Tennessee. One is Justin Jones. I can't remember the other one. I cannot remember the other's name, but they're 2 Black men. They both were famous 3 years ago because they protested like Dr. King 3 years ago. They protested a Tennessee decision that white Republicans in Tennessee made, that unfair advantage to Black people. They protested and they marched and they sung and they danced and they gave a fiery speech like if they were Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 3 years later, they won't have a job because of this gerrymandering. When this re-election goes into, when they re-elect these officials, this gerrymandering will not allow Black politicians to make it. I saw a study that said, based on the new guidelines of this gerrymandering that the Supreme Court struck down, it was Calais versus Louisiana, right? I listened to the Supreme Court litigation. I listened to it. It was 1 hour and 39 minutes long. I listened to the whole thing in my slave. I knew 2 weeks ago when I heard Kakum Gabar, the litigation of the Supreme Court vis-a-vis the Calais versus Louisiana, I knew then gerrymandering was going to change after that Virginia governor changed the entire state of Virginia to blue. Virginia was the heart of the Confederacy. In 2026, she turned blue. Not in Donald Trump's America. Donald Trump's MAGA Republicans said, hell no. Donald Trump's Supreme Court said, hell no. They said, we striking it down. Now all your states are going to look like this. This is what this year, your states are going to look like this. This is what your states are going to look like, right? This is all blue and red. Let me show you the new map. The new gerrymandering map. 2026. Yeesh. Where are we at? Hold on. Let me type it. Hold on. Let me type it in like this. I'm going to show you what the gerrymandering is going to look like for the rest of your life in America. Map of America. Where are we at? Oh, come on. This ain't going to... Is Google going to have it? I don't think Google's going to have it. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Now, can everyone see that? Look to your right. Look to your right. You see how it says the 2024 map? This map on the right, how it's all red in the South, that's the way it's going to look after the Supreme Court strikes that down. You know what that means, don't y'all? Your black politicians won't have a job after this election. That's what that means. They won't have a job. They're not going to be elected. Why? Because Donald Trump doesn't want black people to be in office. Donald Trump wants America to be all white, just like the Confederacy. Just like the Confederacy. What is my point of all of this? Voting, the March on Washington, the Civil Rights Movement was a waste of our time, was a waste of our resources, was a waste of our life, our soul, and our spirit to go and march and vote and beg your oppressor for a Voting Rights Act, all so that in 60 years later, the descendants who were us, of our grandparents who marched with Dr. King, could see a red America. 60 years. Somebody said MAGA is the last breath of the Confederacy. I would challenge your statement, Kitty, and say that white men are the last breath of the Confederacy, not MAGA. Don't get confused with MAGA and white people. White people hate you. I don't give a damn if they're Democrats. They all want to see black people enslaved and Latinos out of this country, both the Democrats and the Republicans. So MAGA isn't the last breath of the Confederacy. White men are the last breath of the Confederacy. Because as long as white men have breath in their body, they're going to hate you, because that's what they were designed to do. Let's go to the scripture. Anybody got any questions before I go into this? Let's go to one of you hold Revelation chapter 18. Kakum, you had something you wanted to say or bring something out?
No, well, you know, this is just like how it says in Exodus that we shall deal wisely with them.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
When and they get them up out the land, you know,
Yes.
so they want to get you up out the land of politics.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you don't have a say so. And for us, you know, if we come back to this truth, we would know that we don't need to be in the so-called white man's politics. We need to gather ourselves together and put a king over us who's of our own brethren. You know what I'm saying? Which is Yahushua.
Yeah, I'm right. Give him a hand.
Yeah.
Somebody hold Revelations 18 and 2. I'm sorry, 18 and chapter 18. Somebody else gets Psalms 83. All right. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemar Alathah Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Omaha in the building. Let's go, Omaha. Most High in Christ, sis. Good to see you. All right. Whoever has Psalms 83, go ahead and read that. And then somebody hold Deuteronomy chapter 7. So let's go. Go to Psalms 83 and start at verse 2. Whoever has it, read.
Salakia, sir, I got it. This is Psalm 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult. Keep going. This, by the way, this is King David, and he's praying to the Most High. But I want you to hear the descriptions of his prayer. Let's keep going. Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Brother, this, like Officer Kakumgabar was just bringing out, this is the spirit of your oppressor. And this has been going on since King David. Esau has always conspired to overthrow Israel because we have the birthright that they didn't get. Remember that. The Bible says that the hand of man is betwixt the heel of Esau and the hand of Jacob. Because, excuse me, as Esau was being born first, Jacob was holding on to his heel so that he could be born first. There have been a constant battle of white and black, Esau and Israel. And that is life in this world, not just this country, on the planet Earth. There is nothing more important than what happens between black people and white people. It's a reason for that. It's a reason for that. And forever, since then, this life has always been about who is in control. Are black people in power, like during the Dark Ages, or are white people in power, like during the Renaissance or Rebirth, or like right now in America, right now in Western civilization, right? That's life. And since then, since that time when they became grown men, and since the time that we've had our own families, when Israel had the Israelites, Esau had the Edomites, when they became clans, there have been a constant battle of the two races of people. That is by design. That's not by accident. Since then, God said, excuse me, that they are confederate against us. That's like it said in verse 2, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have absolutely made a tumult against us, against the Lord. This is King David praying to the Most High God about what the people who hate God are doing to his people. When you do something to the Lord's people, you do something to the Lord. And that's what white people don't understand. That's why they have a hard time grasping their judgment that's coming to them, because they don't understand that we are God's chosen people, and that when they hurt us, they hurt God. When they oppress us, they hurt God. When they murder Trayvon Martin, when they murder our brothers and sisters, the whole medical apartheid of black and Hispanic women, they hurt the Lord, and they have to pay for it because God is not an unjust God. So the King David is praying to the Most High about justice, about what these people who hate the Lord's people are doing to his people. And this has been going on since Moses. This has been going on since Joshua, since King David, since Christ. These people have oppressed us and have sought to oppress us through devices of politics, through gerrymandering. That's just a new oppression for black people to not show up to voting polls. It's just new. Planned Parenthood, child support, the psychological and physiological warfare on black men through school to prison pipeline, the medical apartheid of our sisters and our daughters in the hospitals. This is just a new device of oppression. Asking to see your ID before you vote. Is it 1955 all over again? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Come on, man. They don't want us to even be a nation. That's why they had to steal our identity. Do you know in world history, there has never been a people ever who oppressed the people so much they stole their identity from them. Everyone knows their homeland. Everyone knows where the Irish, when the British oppressed the Irish in the potato famine of 1843, the Irish still kept their names, they still kept their land, they still kept their farms, and they still kept their families. They weren't slaves in perpetuity the way your forefathers were, the way our grandparents were. You know what that means? That means that when when our grandfather was in our great-great-grandmother's stomach, the slave master owned that baby that was in her stomach. in perpetuity. That lasted forever. You weren't a human, you were born as cattle, as chattel. That has never happened. All you Negroes that think we're Africans, that has never happened to the Africans. Why do you think the Africans are named Matumbu, Majumbu, Daduchu? Their last name isn't Robinson. Their last name isn't Jackson. I wonder why that is. Because we are the people. Hernandez and Rodriguez. That's not native names to our people. Why is the North American Indian's last name Whitefeather or Elk or Yellow Elk? That's a name white people gave them in assimilation schools right here in Kansas and Lawrence. You know that to the young man Yeshaya, you from Kansas. You know about Lawrence, Kansas, Haskell University? You got to take your mic off mute. Can you take it? I can't.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Explain to me what has happened on those reservations in Lawrence, Kansas, Haskell University. What happened back in the 1800s and 1900s?
I've only heard a little bit of it, but I haven't really gotten too much into it. Just knowing that a lot of them, there are reservations here on this side, and a lot of it has just been.
Do you know what happened in the 1900s on Haskell University? Do you know what happened on their grounds?
No, actually, I'm not sure.
Well, please let me inform everyone watching. They had something called assimilation schools, and the motto of America in these assimilation schools that were ran by your Catholic and Christian churches, it was beat the Indian. I'm sorry, kill the Indian, save the man. That's 45 minutes down the road for me. That happened to the North American Indians all across the western part of America, in Kansas, in Oklahoma, in Colorado, in South and North Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. Kill the Indian, save the man. And they would cut the Gadites' hair off, and they would make sure they changed their name. That has never happened to anyone else. That's only happened to us. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Kill the Indian, save the man. Your name isn't Kunta Kinte. It's Toby. Your name isn't Yeshaya. Your name isn't Hakum. Your name isn't Malak. Your name is Robinson. Your name is Jackson. Your name is Harris. Your name is Washington or Johnson or give me some more black names. That's your name now. That's your name. That's how they have tried to cut us off from being a nation. This has always happened. Kabar, you had something you wanted to say?
No, I was
like I saw you
with another name. What, Brown?
Brown, white, black.
Yeah.
You're no longer going to be Yeshaya. You're no longer going to be Malak. They stripped us of our Hebrew names when we came over here and gave us their names. They told us we were Africans and we weren't the Negroes, that we weren't the Israelites. They cut us off from our language. They made sure the Gadites couldn't speak their language anymore. They made sure we couldn't speak our language anymore. They made sure the Issacharites, the Spaniards made sure the Issacharites couldn't speak their native tongue anymore. What was their native tongue? Hebrew. And this is all documented in world history. Hebrew was our native tongue. Kumbaya, my Lord. Shema Yasha Allah Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Kad. That's what the Gadites on the Taino Indian island of Puerto Rico now told Christopher Columbus. And they said that my brother Joseph is on an island nearby. This is who we are, and we've known it forever until a nation came across here and cut us off from being a nation, made sure we didn't know who we were. And now in 2026, 50 years after the Voting Rights Act, 60 years after the Voting Rights Act, they're at it again with more oppression. This is my question that I wanted to ask a few minutes ago. When are we going to learn a lesson? When are we going to learn that this is who our oppressor is perpetually? He's never changed since Psalms, since Moses, since Jacob. He's never changed. Why do we expect our oppressor to change? Why don't we change instead? Why is it that black lawmakers always are protesting, and Dr. King is protesting, and Malcolm X protesting for white people to change? Why don't we protest for us to change? Why in the hell do we have to go vote anyway? Can somebody explain how they feel to vote? For what? Because my grandmother died for the right to vote? Nigga, my grandmother also died being raped by a slave master. So what should I do about that? You mean to tell me that voting is going to give me justice for my family being enslaved? Is that what black politicians and Christian preachers are telling us, young man? Is that what they're telling us to come? Is that what they're telling us, Shia? They're telling us that we have to vote in order to get justice for what happened to our slave masters. I was like, what happened to our forefathers who were slaves? Is that what Dr. King wanted? They want to go and change white people's hearts with what? A ballot? With a piece of paper? Is that what changes white people's hearts? Is that what makes white people change? Why do you want white people to change? You know who I want to change? I want my people to change. That's what I want to change.
Right.
Revelations. Whoever has Revelations, read it. Revelation chapter 18.
What verse?
You can start at verse 1.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen.
What did he say?
Babylon the Great is fallen.
Read it with some bass and some enthusiasm. What did this angel say to this prophet of God, John the Revelator?
Babylon the Great is fallen.
There you go, brother. Babylon is fallen. Could come see you brothers gonna learn when y'all get in Hebrew Academy next generation, Lord allow. You brothers gonna learn. Babylon is fallen. Ain't that right? Could come Gabar. Babylon the Great is fallen.
Damn right. Yeah.
Babylon is fallen to what? To rise no more. This is a prophecy in the Bible. This is a song the slaves sung as a slave hymn, which is why it's one of our cadences in the school.
That's right.
Babylon is fallen, the great whore that sits on many waters. America, I don't know if Justin Jones and the Black Congressional Caucus or your grandmother's black preacher knows this, but America is fallen. Don't you see gas $5 a effing gallon? Don't you know that if they don't open the Straits of Hormuz by this year, June, by next month, your food prices are going to soar 33%. This isn't coming from me. This isn't hyperbole. This is what the news says. This is what USA Today and Wall Street Journal and the Chicago Sun-Times Tribune says. This isn't Officer Malak just coming up with something and pulling something out of my behind. This is what the white man is saying, who are economists, sociologists, and work in financial departments for Wall Street. They know they have but a little time. That's that precept Cucumber Bar loves. Because the oppressor has but a small time, a little time, he's going to come down with great wrath. The white man doesn't want your black ass to vote. Don't you know that? Don't you know he doesn't want you to vote? He doesn't want you anywhere around him unless it's on his plantation. That's the only way black people are stomached, Latinos are stomached, is if we slave for our oppressor. Now, what are you going to do? Vote to change that? There's only one way you can change that. Skip me down to verse 4. Go down to verse 4, Yeshaya.
Verse 4, and it reads, and I heard another voice from heaven saying,
remember, the angel was one voice that came to speak to him. He heard another voice. This voice was from the Most High God. John the Revelator in prison on this island of Patmos had visions. And he had visions like any prophet. And he heard the voice of the Lord like all the prophets have. And he heard this voice say, what did this voice of the Lord say?
Come out of her, my people.
Join her.
Come out of her, my people.
Vote for her.
Come out of her, my people.
Go and march to vote.
Come out of her, my people.
Become more like America. Assimilate more in America.
Come out of her, my people.
God told us to come out of her. Come out of her. What is this analogy? It's having sex with an unclean woman, a whore.
That's right.
Imagine you, in the world, you mess with women who were of ill repute, and she was a whore, which is why you wanted to have sex with her. It's a sin to have sex with a whore. It's also a sin to join yourself to a whore. That whore it's speaking about is America, and we've been having sex with her. Ooh, we've been having a lot of fun in America with our weed addiction, with our whore addiction. America allows you to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You can do whatever you want to do. The only thing you cannot do is become an Israelite. Imagine that. That's the one thing you're going to be called a cult member for, is if you find the truth and you have sex with no more whores, you smoke no more weed, they're going to call you a cult member. Your family. Your mother loves you when you're bringing her flowers on Sunday for Mother's Day. This past Sunday was Mother's Day. None of you niggas better not have took your mama no flowers either. All right? This past Sunday was Mother's Day.
Right.
Wicked.
Y'all brought mama flowers. Every
Absolutely.
drug dealer brought their mother flowers. Every man that has molested or raped a child brought their mother flowers. And guess what? You know what's so sad? Your mother doesn't care as long as you bring her those flowers. The moment you stop bringing her flowers, but you also stop having sex with whores, your mother's going to call you a bad son. Your father's going to say, what the hell is wrong with you? You only got one mother. You don't honor your mother. Oh, I can get high and give my mom flowers every year for Mother's Day. But when I stop giving her flowers, when I stop getting high, and when I stop celebrating Christmas, now I'm the problem. When I stop voting, now I'm the problem. You see, that's the only thing you're not allowed to do, is you're not allowed to be in the truth. You can be a man trapped in a woman's body. You can be a molested child and you can molest kids. But you can't serve the Lord. You see, this is the thing that is revolutionary to Black people, is coming out of this whore. Pull yourself out of her. Pull your spirit out of her. Pull your resources out of her and give them to the men of God. Come and subject yourself to the Most High God and do what the Lord have been telling us to do since the book of Genesis. Obey laws. That's it. God said that his laws aren't grievous. It's not hard to put pork bacon back for some turkey bacon. It's not hard to stop getting pork ham, and get beef ham. It's not hard to not eat shrimp and crab boils. It's also not hard to stop getting high, to stop celebrating Christmas. Those things aren't hard. You know what's going to be hard for your children is when they look up and see that it's been another 60 years in this hell and you still try to vote your way out of oppression. That's going to be hard, brother. By then, we might be on plantations by then. If these silly Negroes don't stop, if we don't stop voting and thinking voting is our end-all be-all, thinking that it's God ordained to vote, if we don't stop thinking that getting high is wrong and a sin, if we don't stop thinking that going to church is wrong and a sin, we think it's okay to go to church. We think it's okay to celebrate Christmas. We think it's okay to live a sinful life. Brother, if we don't stop thinking that way, if we don't change who we are instead of trying to change white people, wasting our time trying to change these heathens, brother, you'll be here another 60 years and your great-grandchildren are going to be looking up and saying, for 100 years, for 120 years, we voted and nothing has changed. Do you want that to be the legacy of your descendants? You want that to be the legacy of your posterity? Is that the last thing? Is that the power you want to transfer? The generational wealth you want to give to your kids? Voting just for a white racist president to come along and say, what? I don't want Black people to vote, so I'm going to select Supreme Court justices that's going to carry out my agenda. And so now no Black politician will exist. The Congressional Black Caucus, they said after this gerrymandering, won't exist. There won't be another. Brother, the Congressional Black Caucus has been around since 1866, a year after the Civil War, 67. 150 years ago, the Black Caucus was around. Not anymore. Not anymore. All because a white man decided he doesn't want him around. All because a white man doesn't want you to vote. There's only one thing the white man doesn't control in your life. You see, young man, what's your name again? The young man in Iowa. What's your name?
Finest.
That's right, Finest. Give Finest a hand. Young man, Finest, do you control the Straits of Hormuz opening or closing?
Hell no.
Do you control if a job hires you or not?
La.
Do you control the banking system?
La.
What about you, young man Yeshaya? Do you control the court system or justice system in America? There's only one thing that you can control here. You can't control jobs or if you get hired or fired. You can't control the Straits of Hormuz. You can't control wealth. You can't control money. You can't control what the elected officials of your state decide to do. There's only one thing you can control. Somebody give me the answer. Not you could come. Let one of these young men or someone online give me the answer. What is the one thing that you can control here in this life, in this oppression?
Ourselves and the generations that come after us.
That's a good answer. But you have to have been in class tonight to get this answer.
Khan, ISUPK.
That's a good answer, but you have to have been in class tonight to get this answer. The brother just read it. What's the one thing you can control? Young man Yeshaya, do you want to give it a shot?
One thing that we can control.
Mm-hmm. What can you control? You can't control the Straits of Hormuz opening. You can't control the Straits of Hormuz closing. You can't control the banking system. There's one thing you can control. What is that one thing you can control?
I'd say yourself.
That's a good answer. Y'all all are saying the right thing, but that's not. You had to have been in here tonight to get it. The trooper said keeping the laws. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But what is it that I'm looking for you to say? You have to have been in class tonight. You have to develop this skill to listen. What did you just read in the Bible?
Come out of her, my people.
Say it again.
Come out of her, my people.
What is the only thing you can control here in this life?
Getting out of America.
Say it again.
Getting out of America.
Give the young man a hand. The only thing you can control is coming out of her. That's all you can control. You can't control what Donald Trump is going to do. You can't control your mayor's decision or your governor's decision. You can't control what your mother's going to do. You can't control if you get hired out of slavery or if you get fired. You don't control the stock market. You don't control the fiduciary responsibility of Wall Street. There's only one thing I can control. I can control my actions. I can absolutely control whether or not I come out of America, whether or not I take my spirit out of America. I control me getting high. I control who I have sex with. I control what I eat. I control what I celebrate. I control how I raise my children. I control coming out of America. See, I make that decision. Donald Trump doesn't make that decision for us. Joe Biden doesn't make the decision of pulling our spirit out of America. You control that out. Sisters, you control whether or not you pull that whore spirit out of, whether or not you pull yourself out of the whore spirit of America. There's a spirit on America that wants our daughters to be whores, wants our daughters and sons to be confused. They can control whether or not they pull themselves out of that spirit. That's something Donald Trump doesn't control for you. That's something the politicians and Justin Jones can't march for. You control that. And that's what you better do. That's what you better do. Keep going. No, you can drop that out.
Okay.
Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. All right, give me Deuteronomy. Say it again, Kakam.
No, I was saying kind of. I have that pulled up.
Most High Christ. Go ahead, show me what you got. Read what you got out.
Yeah, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. And it says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Mhm.
The Most High, thy power, have chosen thee to be a special people upon himself, unto
Ooh-wee.
himself."
Ooh-wee. Did y'all hear that? This is Israelite 101 here. This is what every brother, I don't give a damn if you came into the truth first or not. Every Jake learns this scripture first, along with Deuteronomy 28 and 15. When you
Right.
learning that you're a Hebrew Israelite, you learn first that we are holy. What does the word holy mean? Separate. The Lord chose us to be a special people, a separate people. You see, we aren't like the other nations. We aren't like the other trees in the garden. These trees in the garden don't have a dietary law. These other trees in the garden don't have a law forbidding them what they can and cannot have sex with. These trees, their morality doesn't come from the Lord. That comes from their culture of sexual deviancy. That's why every other race of people have a culture of illicit sexual activity with minors and with women. Everyone. The whites have it with the Greeks and Romans. The Asians have it. The East Indians have it. The Arabs have it. And the Africans have it. You see, when y'all travel the world, you'll see things that'll blow your goddamn mind. And you'll understand why it blows your mind. It's not because you're from America, like white people want you to believe. White people want you to believe that America is nothing but good, and every culture that the culture of America is nothing but good. That is a lie. The only reason, the only thing that stops America from being those other nations is because they have blacks and Hispanics here that dictate the morality of this place. If there were no Latinos, North American Indians, or Negroes in this land, America would be Russia. America would be Africa. America would be Rome and Caligula. Why do you think Donald Trump isn't in prison for molesting those kids and raping those babies? Because it's normalized in white culture. There's only one reason why pedophilia is looked down upon in America. It's because the children of slaves are here. Because the people who God chose to be a holy people dwell here. That's the only reason why LGBTQ is so shunned. That's why back in the 60s, men had to hide in the closet. They would have to get married, have a family, but struggle with the demon of being gay. There's only one reason that they couldn't just openly come out and say they were gay. It wasn't because of the Roman Catholics, because Roman Catholics are homosexuals and they have sex with kids. So it's not because of the Jesuits or the Protestants who came over from United Kingdom, from Great Britain. It's because the people who God chose to be holy lives here. That's the reason why.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why. We are God's chosen people. We have something everyone else doesn't have and was not given to them. We have the laws of God. And it's what separates us from everyone else. Not because you jump high and you run fast. Those are that is a byproduct of you being a slave. That's why you run so goddamn fast and jump so goddamn high. Not because of some type of ability that God gave you the ability, but not that it's also white men who jump high and run fast. Does that make them an Israelite? There's only one thing that you have that every other race doesn't have, and it's the laws of God. That's it. Your bloodline was given that law thousands of years ago, and it's what separates you from everyone else. That's what makes you the salt of the earth. While everyone else is living lives of Caligula. My God, go research that bastard and the time of Rome he dwelt over. Oh, Jesus Christ. Having sex with horses and babies. And you think Epstein files are terrible. Go research ancient Rome and Greece. Go research Philip of Macedonia and Caligula. Go research that out. Go research Scotland, what it was like before black men ruled there, before the Dark Ages. Go look at these other places. Go look at these islands, the Micronesian, Melanesian islands. Go look at China. Look at China now here, but look at China then. Go look at the Jing dynasty of China. They would literally take poor boys and make them sex slaves. They made boys into women. You can go look that up. You had a question, Mighty Man? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that talking about like Greece and whatnot, even in their stories and their gods, they also believe that their gods have sex with also animals to have like demigods and whatnot. So it's even in like their religion and their faith.
So I'm listening to you. I see this message that popped up. Say it again. What you said? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Is I said that even like in Greece and whatnot, even in like their religion, like their gods, they believe that they would have sex with animals and whatnot, which would produce their demigods and whatnot
Yes.
that they worship.
Yes. Absolutely. Give him a hand,
Yeah,
brother. If you
I
want life
could.
to be like that, I can just stay in America because that's coming. That's here right now. White men having sex with dogs and cats and hyenas and children. That's right now. If you love this place, stay here then. But if you are a brother or sister who is righteous and wants righteousness to reign, then you need to join the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yana. This is the only place that teaches righteousness. This is the only place that teaches you can be perfect and you will be perfect and you must be perfect in order for Christ to return. If you don't want the things that America has, the lies, the sin, if you don't want to be partakers of hurt, evil, then you better come in here in the UPK. You better come in here in the truth and learn how to change your behavior and how to come out of her. Everyone understand? Any more questions? Anything else?
Well, I got a comment if I could, Baba.
Go ahead, come.
Yeah, so like how you said America would be like this, America would be Epstein Island. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were here. And
Yes.
just proof of that, they just had a Disney cruise ship that where they pulled up and it was pretty much like child pornography and PDF type of activities all on the damn Disney cruise ship. Now
Yep.
Disney is a organization that has been influencing our young generations all the way from my age all the way up and down. You know what I mean? They always send these subliminals out there because guess what? Disney, he should be on Epstein Island. Walt Disney himself should be on Epstein Island, just like all of so-called white America.
Damn right.
Same thing.
Damn right. They love it so much. That's their culture. Our culture is righteousness, brother. That's our culture, righteousness. And in this school, we're going to continue to push that. That's going to be the only way you can live here. You cannot be in this school and not be righteous and not be perfect, not strive for perfection every day. The Bible says, let the weak say, I am strong. This is that place that you're going to come in here weak, but you ain't going to stay weak. You're going to be strong in here. Everyone understand?
That's right.
With that,
Don't
Most High Christ. Well done, Most High Christ. Great to see you, young man. Great to finally see you, the young man Yeshaya here in Kansas City. He's a young man here. Brother, you keep doing your time, brother. You get that name, you'll be a trooper. And before you know it, we're going to be rocking it out, all right? You're going to be rocking and rolling with us. Keep checking in on Wednesdays. To the young man up in Iowa, stay under that brother up there, Kakumgabar. He's a good brother, good officer. Y'all keep checking in, keep doing what you're supposed to do. Before you know it, you'll be a trooper in here, Lord alive. And then the work really starts then. All right. But with that, I'll pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kakumgabar.
That's right. It's the ISUPK security announcements. Where the ISUPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. And after that 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the heads to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court one another. And then after that 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Pay your tithes. That is a commandment. You can find that in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. That means the 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. That's 10% of every penny or increase that the Most High gives you. You can give that to the Treasury Department or to the teacher. A priest fund or a free will offering for a priest is not mandatory. It's whatever amount you would like. And the upcoming holy convocations is we got the Feast of First Fruits. Clap it up, clap it up. That is what is it? Sunday at sundown, May 31st at sundown. Sunday at sundown, May 31st.
That's the last Sunday of this month.
Count. So definitely check in with your camp leaders or whatnot so you can get any type of location or whatever for the feast. Yeah, and if anyone wants to become a trooper or in the school, man, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, war scarf. And with that, we're gonna give a salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Amaju, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Amaju, Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh Shem
Thumb.
Yazmatah, hands down. Sar, it means turn. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Amaju, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Amaju Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh. Yazmatah, class dismissed.
All right, shalom, Maki.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.